This is Mark Kramer, Senior Lecturer at Entrepreneurship at Vin University and the host of Asian Founders and Funders. Our podcast is to allow people around the world to know that there are amazing entrepreneurs throughout Asia, and they're not just in China or just in Singapore, where most people know entrepreneurs are from. We have them from all over. And today's entrepreneur is actually from Singapore, and we're glad to have him today. So it's Rahul Sharma, who is the founder of Little Wallet, and I believe is also a serial entrepreneur in his own right beyond Little Wallet. Rahul, welcome.
Sorry, I was on mute. Hi, Mark. Pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you as well. So before we talk about Little Wallet, why don't you give us some of your background?
Okay, so before starting a Little Wallet, I worked for more than 25 years of experience in banking and insurance and IT industry. I gained valuable experience and skills in banking technology during my career. However, my passion for simplifying finances and promoting financial literacy, coupled with a personal experience involving even my son, 9 years old, inspired me to venture into the world of entrepreneurship with Little Wallet. And 2021, I left my job and pursued Little Wallet full time.
So why did you start Little Wallet?
Well, Little Wallet is more than just a business for me. It's a passion project that was born out of a personal need and a desire to make a positive impact. Several years ago, while I was traveling, my 9-year-old son asked me for my credit card. Uh, it was a moment that made me realize how important it is to teach kids the value of money. At that age, he saw the credit card as money itself without understanding its implications. I also wanted a safer way for him to learn about finances, which is why I started Little Wallet, a family banking app designed to educate kids about money and promote financial literacy.
And so what age group are you targeting? What age does a kid get a credit card or should know about finance?
Uh, as per the statistic, I would say that a kid at the age of 3 can start getting this knowledge from their parents to how to save and how to understand about money. But the appropriate age to start actually going into a learning of a finances is a 6 plus, and that is the age we are targeting, 6 plus. And the range goes from their teenagers, so they can learn from a 6 to 12, and they can start utilizing that learning from age 13 plus.
So how big a market are we talking about here? And are you just focused on specific countries in Asia, or is your app being marketed on a global basis?
So currently we are focusing on our primary focus is in Vietnam, but our presence is also in Singapore and Indonesia. But after stable with Little Wallet in Vietnam, then we can start doing in Singapore and as well as in other countries. Just to share with you, Little Wallet is available for a soft launch in App Store. Anybody can download and experience end to end, and without any charge. We're not charging anything for downloading our app as of now.
And so are you first targeting the parents? I mean, what's your marketing strategy and the tactics you're using to get people to even know this exists?
I mean, our marketing strategy is definitely is using a digital media. So that's what we are leveraging it. And we are also getting a personal experiences from a parents going on a financial institution and to understand the value, to understand the product value, whether they really need it and what is their viewpoint, what is their feedback. And we're getting a almost 98% of a positive feedbacks from a parents that they love to have this product in their mobile phone.
And the parents, are you also working with the banks to get at them? Like, are you partnering with banks to roll this out, or is it just directly from you?
So we are actually partnering with the Vietnam International Bank to start with, and we are in the phase of integrating with Vietnam International Bank, and soon it will be available for the Vietnam market from I would say first or second week of October with the fintech element. Currently, the adtech element is already there, but it's still need to be go in a more better and enhanced way along with the fintech in October.
Do you have a sales team that's trying to get you into the banks in order to develop it? And who else are you partner with besides the financial institutions?
We have a business development team sitting in Vietnam, and they are actually working with all these partners, whether it's talk about bank, financial institutions, or partnership with the like schools. They who really wanted to and must have this product or this curriculum in their school. So we have a team. They're working on this our business strategy, and they're extensively engaged to be reach out to it's with right now we're focusing in Vietnam, so we are talking to all Vietnam institutions.
Why did you pick Vietnam?
That's a really good question. Looking at the current scenario and the market trend, I would say Vietnam is growing very fast. I would say there's a lot of intelligent people, young generation. They are aspire to start their own entrepreneurship journey. They whenever I'll be in Vietnam, when I talk to any young generation, they give me a lot of inspiration. So I found that this country is running and growing very fast, rapidly, and it's a best place to start with. And I would say uh, there's a long way to go over there.
When you're talking to the schools, are you talking to public schools, to the private schools like Vin schools? Who are you going to with the schools, and how are you pitching to them?
Yeah, so we are actually targeting and talking to a Win School. They are also partner with us with providing this financial literacy content or curriculum to their school parents and their students. And they're pretty much happy to have us on board, and we're looking forward to working with them. And we are also working with some other schools in Vietnam, and then start providing the same content to them as well.
Are the families you're targeting, are they middle class, upper middle class, wealthy? Who is the right market for you? Because you can't market to all of Vietnam, right?
Yep. So our product is not actually segregated any segment between lower class or middle class or high class, but definitely our product, we call ourselves Apple of FinTech, and our product is quite premium product, and anybody can download it and experience the whole product, and they can also use this financial literacy content for their kids or themselves. But there's a subscription fees involved at the later stage, and which may require parents to invest a bit. But we are not segregating between like like a higher class or a middle class.
I was just thinking from an economic standpoint, what kids would have money that this would all make sense for them
Mm.
and for you to go and build this business. What's going to be your revenue streams in this? How are you making money?
We are potentially looking at subscription model and product-based fees. For now, Little Wallet is offering a free of charge services to all user, and anybody can download an app from an app store to experience it.
So you said subscription fee, and what was the other
Uh,
revenue
product
stream?
based product-based fees. So
Okay,
like we yeah. So,
please tell us what that is.
yeah, so product-based fees is like we have a fintech element in there where we are partnering with the Vietnam International Bank, offering these prepaid debit card and as well as credit cards to parents and teenagers. So there's some interchange involved in that one, which we actually shared with all financial institutions. So that's a product-based fees.
Do you see yourself selling ads and sponsorships once you get to a certain size? And how many people do you think, how many users do you think you'll get on this platform?
So we aspire to have almost 100,000 users by the end of the year, but we don't believe in ads revenues because uh, we are into a fintech and edtech world, and we need to follow certain criteria of privacies and compliance. And it's purely a non-ad based, but we do partnership with some of the to provide a better offers to parents and teenagers to leverage their financial element or fintech product to use their card product on those partners or merchants.
And um, how do you make it fun for the kids to really want to do it? Because it's kind of a dry subject.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really interesting question you ask. So this is the one thing which came in my mind when we are building a ad tech element into our fintech product. That how we're going to excite parents and kids to make it a really a joyful product so that they can use it every day. If you can ask kids or a teenager to read some book, it's not easy. But if you can ask them to like you can play a game, Xbox or a PlayStation, they happily accept it and then start playing it, and time is not constrained for them. They go as long as for a whole day. So we are converting our financial literacy content in a two different aspects. First, we can just providing a joyful animated series where they can learn and they can play a quiz. Secondly, we are also giving a gamification experience where kids and teenagers can also play a game and they can earn some rewards, and then they can use those rewards to our with our partners or any merchants or any other place where we are actually going to target and partner with.
And who's the competition for you guys? Because I've seen a lot of these kinds of companies in the US doing what you're doing.
I mean, we have in the current state in and current scenario in Asia, I would say that we are in the space of a family banking, and where I can see very limited players in this particular area of family banking. So we, how do we differentiate with that? Differentiate with providing this fintech with the ad tech element along with the gamification learning, which is make us different from other products.
And when you are expanding what you're doing here, what's your expansion plans? I mean, will you always be focused on kids, or will you also look at young adults? Because I think even one of my daughters, it's taken to her about age of 30 to really understand all the different parts of the finance, and she's still not, and she's college educated.
Yeah, really interesting question, and that's the one thing is also came in our mind when we started this product with just for parents and kids and teenager. We thought about this one, did a lot of analysis on market research. We call ourselves a family banking product. So where the journey is start from very early age with the education of a financial literacy, and then reach to the level of teenager. They can use it as a fintech product with a card product in a real life experience. And we are not stopping here. So we are actually providing a parents to experience this product just like what teenagers does. They can also use our banking product. They can get offers. Lately, we can also provide a invest product as well, where they can also do a small investment, and teenager can also learn from this invest product and they can start investing. And on the next level, we are also working with the entrepreneurship, where we can also provide a opportunity for a young generation to be a part of our YEC Young Entrepreneurship Competition. They can pitch us, and they can also been given a good chances to working with us or working with any good company, and or they can give a life to their own imagination, own vision, or maybe their mission to become a successful entrepreneur.
How do you get the kids to keep coming back and using it over and over? Because it's really the real value is going to be measured right in how much time they spend on it. And if they keep coming back and using it, not just saying, oh, I've used it once, it's not that interesting. or I don't find it that helpful. So, how are you? What's your retention plan for them? And are you also thinking about starting an advisory board of kids so you can get direct feedback from them?
I mean, I would say that definitely looking at the current world of digitalization, that the transformation is gaping and running very fast. It's quite um, so the reason of creating this gamification experience within the app, which will create a lot of buzz into the market, and kids and teenagers are quite interested to be have this um, features in fintech and edtech with the fintech and edtech element, which we think is definitely going to create a quite a good retention into this one. Otherwise, we stay innovative by regular researching, listening to the user, partnering with the tech expert. This help us stay up to date and improve our services.
Who's on your management team, and does anybody have a background in education? Because I would think that a good chunk of this would have to focus on how to actually educate young people, and that somebody must have a teaching background.
I mean, we do have our mentors is there. Some of our board of directors is actually coming um, from the educational background. I would say I'm not sure whether this conversation is actually appropriate to give your name. So one of the name is you, who's also mentoring us, providing your inputs to for a right direction of giving our financial literacy content. So thanks, Mark, to giving us a right direction and giving us as a good content to be provided good financial literacy to our younger generation.
So I guess my question is that when you were developing this, and there's some gamification to it, and there's education to it, did you need to have somebody who understood how to deliver lesson plans and how to engage kids in a way that the kids would learn? I mean, how did you figure that out?
I mean, we have a dedicated board of directors with extensive experience in various sectors, not even a business, banking, or financial industry. We do have people who coming from a educational industry as well, from a good universities and as well as from school educational background, I would say, and designing a curriculum as well. So our board members bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise, which contributes to our strategy, decision making, and overall success. Each director's unique background and insight contributes to our mission of promoting financial literacy and family financial well-being through Little Wallet.
Is this your first entrepreneurial venture?
No, I'm actually senior
That's
startup
what I thought.
founder.
And,
Yeah, so
and so what are some of the other ventures you've been in?
my first venture was at the age of 21 when I done my engineering, and immediately I got into because I won't say that one entrepreneurship is in my blood or I came from my ancestors. I always aspired to be an entrepreneur, and uh, when I was actually looking at the time. That time was like IT was not that popular, but I was aspired to be build and innovate something. So at the age of 21, I started IT industry, an IT company providing services to a lot of established company back in India. And that company I sold at the age of 24 or 25, and then I moved to corp sector again to gain more and more experience and knowledge to bring up a more um, insights to another innovation. I started another company that is also uh, in Singapore back in 2015 or 2017, um, and we start providing a information technology services to all the startups and some banking industry. Along with that, I've also started two more startups, which is I would say that due to COVID, I couldn't able to sustain, but that's I'm aspired to be restart that and bring it to life and can contribute to the society.
Well, what's the hard part of being an entrepreneur?
I mean, it's a quite a tricky question, and I mean, I would say managing a risk and closely monitoring of your finances is the hardest part. And I mean, again, you when you are a startup founder, you also need to have some work and life balance. But which is sometimes you feel that it's not really a good way to, but time really heals all the experience you learn from your mistakes. Then that's how you make it a much more better decision and go in this one. So the hardest part is, would say that balancing between work and life is the one which I would say.
The hardest part about what do you like most about being an entrepreneur?
Innovation. And that is the best thing I would like, that you don't stop innovating, keep innovate, keep learn from others. Doesn't matter it's coming from your peers, it's coming from your mentors, or you're coming from any partners. uh, and the important thing, be consistent, dedicated, and focused to your mission.
The what inspired you to say to yourself, you know what, I had this nice cushy job, or maybe not cushy, but consistent paycheck. I mean, we don't have, I'm a serial entrepreneur. We don't have consistent paychecks. What made you give up the consistent paycheck for this? And also, did you raise money to start this venture, or is it all your own money?
Yeah, so initially we started. I mean, it was fully funded by us, but in past year, the Carney Partners, or U.S. venture capital firm, invested in us. This outside funding has helped us grow, improve our services, and support our goal of teaching kids about money. So we recently received the funding.
Uh, and and did you put your own capital in as well?
Yes, yes. So initially we start fully funded by us. Initially, bootstrap until last year December. And this year we received the funding.
How did you get your wife on board with this? Because I think it's important to have your spouse on board, or it could be a very painful experience.
I mean, initially it was when you try to convince your partner on some of your mission or your vision, they always ask for first, oh, how are we going to be survive, not to having a one person salary, and everything comes on my head. But lately she understood my mission. She can see that this the need of this product, being a mother of two kids, being a father of two kids. Both we decided, let's plan ahead, let's budget it, because that's the mission of in our product as well, that we need to teach um, the whole family value of money and plan wisely before you take step forward and to achieve your dreams. That's how we started, and I took a leap of faith, and I left my job and started my own startup to achieve my dreams.
What's the biggest mistake you've made as an entrepreneur, and what did you learn from it?
I mean, I would say that failure is the one which is crucial for growth. Um, Learning from mistake, I would emphasize, because it's this is I would say that learning from a mistake help us improve, adapt, and make better decision. It's a valuable teacher in the journey of entrepreneurship. I would rather, I'm unable to recall any biggest mistake, but I would say that there was a learning from mistake which I mentioned to you, that improve us and adapt it and make a better decisions.
Are there days that you like question that you ever got into being an entrepreneur? Like that it's a roller coaster ride for sure. When you have down days, how do you overcome those down days?
I mean, family time is the biggest healer of anybody. I mean, whenever I'm down with something, to regenerate myself, I always spend a good time with my kids. and the kids are the biggest healers. When you start playing with them, we start chit chatting with them, you will find a lot of easy solution, and that will motivate to you go in the same direction. So I would say that family is the biggest healer.
Y- You have a partner with this venture, and you have just one partner, or do you have multiple partners?
No, I have only one partner.
And so, what's it like being in a partnership? Because that can be very tricky, just like being in a relationship, especially it's like a marriage.
Yes. So partner support is very important. So my partner support is absolutely crucial to the success of our business. Their encouragement, insight, and shared commitment to our mission provide invaluable motivation and strength. Together, we tackle challenges, make important decisions, and celebrate achievements. The support of my partner is not only personally fulfilling, but also essential for the growth and well-being of our business.
So, your partner is a woman, and
Yes.
and and when you guys have disagreements, how do you get through those disagreements? Because many partnerships end up blowing up, even people who were best friends for life. I can't even, because I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've had people that I've worked with where they knew the person since elementary school. Their families would go on vacations together, and it ended up to the point that they never talked to that person again. So, how do you handle when you have discrepancies, and especially ones where you get a little bit heated and you're really at opposite ends? How do you work those things out?
Yeah, I mean, partnership is not easy. That I would say, and you every entrepreneur who wants to uh, go in on this journey, and if they have a partner, you need to bit adjustable, adaptable, according to um, the according to you as according to the environment, and as well what your other partner. So listening, mutual discussion, um mutual brainstorming, and I would say one-to-one discussion and reach to the conclusion is a better, rather actually uh, putting blame on each other, because building a business or building any good company is not a easy like producing a baby. Like in a father and mother relationship is different, or a husband and wife relationship is different. But when it comes to two different partners coming or two different culture, the conflict is pretty natural. But rather just throwing a blame on each other, sit down, discuss, reach to a mutual decision, and step forward.
How, how do
That's
you
my.
how do you make sure you're a good listener when your partner has something that you don't agree with? Like, how do you and be objective about whatever they're telling you?
I mean, it's a art. Listening is a
Uh,
art. So you need to understand that and first listen other and to see where this argument is coming from. Uh, like I mentioned to you, I'm coming from a banking and IT background. In IT industry, when we see any issue or any bug, we usually do a root cause analysis, that where this is coming from. So this is the same strategy I follow with such conflicts. I first listen and understand that where this issue is coming from, what is the root of that issue, whether that issue is likely or unlikely, is really is the issue, or it's just a hype. It's something which is not the right way to understand it. So sometimes this conflict is coming from misunderstanding or overheard from anybody else. So it's a really good practice to listen, find a way to resolve it and close it.
and when you're adding people onto your team, what's the criteria or profile of the kind of people you try to hire?
Um, right people is really important for any startup, and that's one thing which every startup founder has to go with. And initially, I really had a challenges to finding a right resources because our office in Singapore, headquarters in Singapore, and we have a development office in Indonesia. So two different countries and two different cultures. To finding a right resources is a challenge, and I ensure that when whoever actually I'm talking and bringing on board is actually has this same level of understanding as me, founder, and they love about the concept. They have a same mission to grow in their life, and not being as a founding team, being a leader in future. And once I can see that kind of a fire and dedication and same reason or a mission, then I always look for that person to be a part of our founding members.
So, when you're looking at the profile of the people, is there certain personality traits that you look for in the people that you hire?
Yep. So technically, we will look for the people. If I can talk about the as per the experience wise, we look for the similar experience they worked on, because our the technology we are using is a mix of a fintech and edtech. We are working on a niche technology, which is provided more of a security and ease of uses to customer. So profiling, finding that kind of profile is a bit challenging, but we always look for such thing that where we can also see people have worked in the similar environment earlier. Have they worked in the startup environment? Are they ready to work in little aggressive and challenging environment where deadlines are quite important? And along with that, we also look for how much they love about this product, what they think about this product, and that is the criteria we follow to finding a right person.
And I was wondering, aside from the technical skills, you know, what kind of, because there are different types of people that work best in a very large organization. There are different types of people that work in an entrepreneurial organization, and even at phases of the entrepreneurial organization, like in the growth of the life cycle of the
Yeah.
company. You're going to have different people now in the early stage of Little Wallet than you might have 5 years from now when you're a much bigger organization.
Mm.
What kind of what's the personality traits you look for at this particular time?
I mean, I would say that one technical aspect definitely is one of the aspect, but leadership management skill is also very important. Uh, People who are aspire to be a leader, not to just be part of the team, that is the kind of a reason we always look for selecting a founding member of the team, so that later on stage, if they wanted to grow further, they can have they can also follow their own decision, and I mean they can follow their gut feelings and they can take their own decision, rather us to be a part of the decision making.
We have a question from the audience. Like to know about your global rollout plan.
Okay, so that's a really interesting question, and we are aspire to be do it globally. uh, right now our experience app, which we call it as a soft launch, is already available in global app store and Google store. um, but since this particular product has a fintech and ad tech both element, ad tech we can still roll out to a globally, because we no need to have a license to work with any financial institution. But for a fintech product, we should work. We require a financial institution license, or as well as a partnership. Like given an example of Vietnam, where we're working with the Vietnam International Bank. Here in Singapore, we are also working with one of the financial institution to bring it. So we're going to do it step by step. We're going to focus in one market first, grow in that market, then we can start doing it in the next market. As I mentioned to you, our footprints is already there in Asia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Vietnam. But right now we wanted to we wanted to focus in Vietnam only.
Uh, what did what effect is AI going to have on your business, and how are you using artificial intelligence?
Very good question, Mark. You ask about this. Growing role of AI is quite significant nowadays. Everybody's looking for something is coming. To be very frank with you, since our product is more about about is financial literacy and as well as um touch or it's with the fintech element, AI has a very limited role in that one. We definitely going to use AI. I'm not saying that we're not going to really affected with that, or we no effect, no impact on us, but we're going to use AI for our advisory kind of things, our chat bots and all, where we can give a customer a seamless experience. Uh, but if you talk about uh, like all our ad tech and fintech element, I don't think so. AI can contribute much in that one because, as I mentioned to you, we're providing uh, a little different experience through a gamification and an animated series.
And are you concerned at all about AI? I mean, so many people are worried about it wiping out so many jobs, or that it will eliminate so many people like bankers. Will you actually need bankers? We actually need money managers. Can all this be done with AI? How do you think it's going to affect the financial services field?
I mean, that's a speculation for me. I mean, AI is eating a job. AI is going to be take his or her job. At this level, I won't say that there's anything, any kind of a fear of that. If we can use it intelligently, that's very important for us. I'll give you a very simple example of a university or school because since you're coming from the same background,
Mm.
if if we are going to make our habit to use AI on a regular day-to-day work, I'm actually making myself is actually getting more dependent to AI. But if I'm using AI to support me to do something, actually I'm creating a help for myself. So there's a two different things are there, whether you wanted to use AI as a help or you wanted to be a dependent of AI.
Are you running a virtual company, or will you have all your people in an office space at some point?
Currently, our business model is operates primarily in a virtual and digital environment. Our services are accessible through our mobile app and website, allowing user to manage their financial education and family banking needs online. We provide a convenient and user-friendly platform for families to engage with our resources and tools from comfort of their homes or wherever they have internet access.
I guess I was thinking about um, for your employees and building corporate culture. Are you going to stay virtual and your people will be everywhere, working from everywhere? Or will you have an office that everybody will come to? And can you build a culture without people coming into an office?
Sorry to misunderstood your question. So definitely, we believe in both hybrid environment, which is virtual as well as uh, coming to office. So right now, most of our employees is coming to office. Our business development office, all the nobody is working from home. Everybody is from office. Even in Indonesia Development Center, everybody is working from office. Here in headquarter in Singapore, me and my partner is actually also working sometime from office and sometime from home. It's like a hybrid environment.
And do you see people coming in 2 days a week, 3 days a week? I mean, what will it take to build a corporate culture? I think that's the biggest question for a lot of companies. And in the US, even financial service companies are telling people, you know what, we really can't build a corporate culture, or we really can't see what your potential is if we don't work with you on a day-to-day basis. How do you feel about that, and how will you do that with your own company?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question to ask because post COVID, most of the people have this kind of mindset that why we're not going to work from home or why don't we have a hybrid? But I would say, as per my experience, depends upon the job profile. Um, if I'll ask my developers to start completely from work from home, it's hard to make sure they're working and coding or doing a right way of with the company, because there's a lot of security elements involved in. Then somebody is working from home, you're giving a complete access to your environment, and which is go against compliance as well. So we believe in hybrid, rather be a fully work from home, depending on the nature of or responsibility of a work profile. A business development team or anybody who is not required to uh, contribute within the teamwork or a teams, they are we can allow them to be work from office and work from home, like a minimum 3 days a week, and then they can other days they can work from home, but it depends upon on their work profile.
How did you select your board of directors and your advisory board? I mean, what was the profile of the kind of people that you wanted there, and why did you select those types of people?
So like I would mention earlier that we have a board of directors coming from a various sectors. So when we choose our board of directors, we always look for what value we need from our board of directors, so they can mentor and they can also help us to take a right decision. So because it requires, board of directors always help you to and contribute to our strategic decision making. So um, since we are building a fintech and edtech product, we wanted a board of director coming from the same background, who have uh, same similar kind of experience in past. I would give an example is somebody who built a multiple or a serial entrepreneur, or coming from a banking industry, founded any fintech company earlier, or has a financial industry knowledge. So guide us with this and help us in the strategic decision making.
Well, what's the value of having boards? I mean, how do you see them being of value? Because some people have boards just to have the names there. How do you utilize a board to help you really build your company?
I mean, we still at a very nascent stage because we are a startup, but I still believe in and trust in board, because if you can recall, you asked me the question that what happened when two partners have a conflict and how you're going to resolve it. One thing definitely is there, that you can discuss and sit down and mutually understand each other. But another one is like when it goes really on a next level, then board is the one which we definitely going to help you to make that uh, things works. And even not that is the that one. There's sometime I would say that I'm not a, I'm 100% idle, and I know everything. I have a strength and weakness. So the weakness can be also mitigated by these board of directors, where you can put your viewpoint and then they can support you and they can guide you through with their experiences, and and uh, and they can help you in a right going in a right direction.
How important is as an entrepreneur to understand your own weaknesses and help people and have people around you to check those weaknesses?
It's very important because um, before building a startup, you need to list down what strength you have and what weakness you have. If you really wanted to bring like-minded people on board, or a partner, you always look for complementary skills,
Mhm.
right? If you don't have that the person with the complementary skills with the same weakness, then it's very hard to scale it up. So I would say that when it's very important, you can see the weakness, or you can convert your weakness into the strength is another strategy. You can, if you have that.
Do you have mentors?
Yes, I do.
And how do you use them and why are they important?
I mean, I have many who have been instrumental in guiding me through the challenges of entrepreneurship. From my mentors, I have learned valuable lessons about strategic planning, effective leadership, and the importance of being consistent. They have also provided insights of navigating the ever-changing landscape of fintech and edtech, helping me make informed decisions, adapt to market dynamics, and grow as a business leader.
Do you read business books or Do you read articles online? What do you read to keep up with everything and enhance your own business knowledge?
Yeah, so I would say that learning from any aspects is always uh, expand your mind. So I do that. Every time I'm just reading an article, and I'm also keeping myself up to date about the trends and in this industry, or maybe any other industry which is and which you can see that that's going to be a future. So I keep myself up to date with the reading articles, books, magazines, or any discussion is happening anywhere. I prefer to be a part of that one to understand, because especially the background which I'm coming from is a technical background. It's changing very fast. What you think almost at 5 or 10 years back, it's almost obsolete. What you see right now is going to be obsolete in next 2 or 3 years. So it's important to be up to date.
Is there any books that you recommend that you've read? And not everybody is a book reader, or is there publications that you read that you would recommend to other entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so when I was young, I used to read a one book which is coming on a regular basis on every month. Uh, Apology, but right now I'm unable to recall the name. It's just starting with a
I'm
rapid something.
I'm
But
terrible about that too.
yeah, so that was a really good book. Probably I don't have right now that name, but one book I read just recently during my executive MBA in NCR, that's called Nudge. Nudge, Nudge. Why it excites me to read about this one? Because everybody needs one nudge, very small. So I mean, in the this world, a lot of people wanted to do something. They have some dreams to achieve, but they never do it because of they engage with the multiple things at the same time, family stuff and all. So this nudge is actually required. I mean, it's the one which make them to be go step forward and step to the next level. So I would suggest that one recently which I was reading.
Excellent, excellent. Where do you see the financial services field over the next 5 to 10 years? I'm not even asking 20 years out because things change so quickly, but over the next 5 to 10 years, how do you think the financial services world's going to change?
I mean, if you can look the current financial industry, it's changing rapidly, especially post COVID. Digitalization accelerated almost 10 times, which we thought about. Uh, it's not going to happen in 2019, but as soon as COVID hit in 2020, everybody wants to go in digitalization. So coming up, the trend in the market of a financial uh, industry, I would say that it's definitely going to increase digitalization, financial inclusion, personalization. There will be a regulatory changes. The more fintech innovation is going to come. Cross-border transactions will maybe start more and more, because this is one of the challenge every monetary authority actually looking at, that they make it more seamless within the regulation without doing these anti-money laundering stuff. And another one is like, which I personally believe, and that is one of the key reason I'm a founder of Little Wallet, is a financial education, um, which is now really required. The reason our younger generation don't know really not aware about this value for money, and the reason is this plastic. Because if I can recall my time, my dad used to give me a physical money, and I have a tendency to do a very simple math before I can start spending that money. Right now, when our kids can go anywhere, we always hand it over our debit card or a credit card. They think this is the money, and they always spend, and there's no control in the spending. There's no visibility with the spending without having a knowledge of finance. They can't. I remember when I was building Little What, I did a one very small experiment on my kids. I given them a $10 and asked them, okay, go buy some stuff from the market. And the condition is that it's your choice what you're going to buy, but you need to save certain amount of money. That money is your money, and wherever you want to spend, it's your. So what they did when they went to a supermarket, they check every single product price and calculated wisely. That's a simple maths they did, and they saved that money, and the joy of saving they shared with me, because I believe that saving make you more happier than spending.
Yeah, knowing that it's sitting there in case you
Yeah.
really need it. Yeah, I feel the same way as you do. Um, Last question. What's your advice to aspiring entrepreneurs? What do you think that they should be thinking about? How soon should they jump in? Should somebody who's graduating college jump right into being an entrepreneur, or should they get corporate experience because you jumped in early, but then you went back to a work for a big corporation? Now that you look back, what's your advice here?
So my advice to entrepreneurs, the new entrepreneurs or upcoming startup founders, first thing is, and most important, is follow your passion. Keep learning, plan carefully, build a support network. Then take a calculated risk, focus on customers, be adaptable, and manage your finances wisely, because that's very important. You have a limited funding. Embrace failure, stay persistent, and maintain work life balance. That's the one mistake I did. I never maintained work life balance.
Isn't it, is that even possible? I mean, I've done 25 startups myself. And even now, I am working like 14 hours a day. I mean, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 5:45. Get up, I go work out. I come to the university, teach, work on different things there. Then I go home and I'm working on the ventures, and I don't go to sleep till between 11:30 and 12:30 at night. And then I sleep on 5.5 hours of sleep, and I start the whole thing. And I'm typically working 6 days a week. I find that there's always one more thing to do, one more thing to do. And you just feel like you want to get there as fast as you can, and so it's a function of just keep putting in the time. But you're right about the balance. I mean, you have to strike some kind of balance or you burn out.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with you, and that's how I also started. And I won't say that one I'm still good into that, but I would say, Mark, this is a mindset. You need to plan carefully. Every second day or every next day has a something, some challenges bringing in, and when you see yourself and you can write it down, those items every day before you can sleep, you can see that, oh, there's a 10 things is going to do it tomorrow, and your mind start working that way. The planning is very important, and you need to plan carefully and stay persistent on that, because it's very hard to ask your mind to stop working. I want some rest. Otherwise, if you calculate the productivity, if you keep yourself, it definitely not going to be a the good working hours. It's more of like a just diverting something, that fear of missing out. The new trend of this
Yeah.
Gen Z is FOMO. Fear of
Yeah.
missing out is the word which I would say, that you always think before you say, oh, I'm missing something, I need to do that. You need to control it. Maybe you need to start doing some kind of a take out a 1 hour and do some meditations and all, and talking to your family members. You may find some changes, and next day you find out you are more productive than compared to what you were earlier.
Yeah. It took a long time to figure that out, but you're giving them a good shortcut now. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And we want to wish you the best. Oh, we do have one last question. Does Little Wallet teach children the value of their skill sets as they grow?
Yep. So they can. So we have a curated experience in Little Wallet. So whatever the financial literacy content you see, they are as per their age, and as long as they grow, they can, the literacy, the content, everything is actually grow with them. So, you know what I mean? Um, uh, th- you can see that. understanding between age 6 and understanding of a 12 years is big different. So we design the curriculum and content that way that they can start with a step by step and they can learn accordingly. I hope I understood your question correctly.
I think that the question, and you answered a lot, you had a good answer, but I think what they were trying to strive at is, will little while teach children the values of their skill sets as they grow, what the value of those skill sets are.
Yeah. So the value of the skill set, the reason why Little Wallet has a fintech and edtech, because we believe in that whatever the value they're learning from edtech, they can use it in real life using fintech. So they will become a more and more wise, and they are more and more become uh, uh, educated about spending wisely. So what people usually think, spend first then save, which is a completely wrong strategy. Save first, whatever left out, spend that is the strategy has to be. So this is the value they can get it from having a regular financial literacy education and start using through their real life experiences.
Rahul, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and answering all of our questions. And we wish you the best. And we'll be following Little Wallet and see how big it grows. And of course, I myself am glad to be involved in a small way in trying to help you achieve your dream.
Really appreciate your time, Mark, and it was a pleasure talking to you. I had a really great time.